Now we're going to dive into the questions that people posted when they registered for the event. So the first one I'm going to put to you, Amanda, because you've already talked about studying at university. This person asks, how is studying at university different to studying at high school?
It's a lot more independent. But with lecturers, you know, they're not, unlike teachers, they're not there to hold your hand and make sure you get every example. It's up to you to go, I don't understand this, and arrange a time and meeting with your lecturers. It's not, they never dump you on the deep end though. That was always my biggest fear with university, of you have to know everything before the class actually happens. But never the case. They build you up basically on each class. And again, if you've got any problems, the lecturers are always really excited and happy to answer questions. I do know it's scary. Other students did get a cultural shock in the sense of they weren't there to make sure you understood everything. And sometimes if the class doesn't necessarily go through every single example, it is expected of you to finish those examples in your own time, because next day is a different topic or more advanced than what you were just doing that previous day. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I would agree. As a teaching staff member, I think one of the big things is the independence. So, you know, if you're not turning up to class, sure, we might send you a reminder, but, you know, we're not your parent. We're not here to make you come to class. We don't take a role, you know, so it's more independent, but we are certainly still here to support you. So the next question I'm going to put to Raquel. So I play competitive sport. Is it possible to keep this up while studying at university? So Raquel, you do triathlon, so you're training for 3 different things. How do you fit it all in?
Yeah, so it is like, it's not easy, but if you're already doing it at high school, I think it's definitely manageable in university. It's just about how you structure your time. If you are an elite athlete, you can get really good support from the Massey University Academy of Sport, which you can apply as a high school student. And they're really good in terms of providing support between you and your lecturers, as well as being able to structure your study around your training and competitions. So because I'm not really an elite athlete, I'm more of a national level athlete. So Massey University can also provide you with some funding if you need to go to a competition. So I went to the World Triathlon Championships in my first year of uni, and so they were able to help, like, give me some funding and support around that. Also, lecturers are pretty excited to hear that you're doing competitive sports, so they pretty happy to help you support, you know, studying and assignments and tests around what you're trying to achieve in sport.
Yeah, to be honest, it's really fascinating what some of our students do. So we have like cricketers, hockey players, equestrian, we had like taekwondo, I think, like all sorts of things that people are juggling around their studies. Yeah. One thing you brought up, Katie, was around like the people skills and bringing people together. So someone asked, how important are people skills in STEM careers? So sounds like it's really important for your particular role, but do you think at STEM in general it's important?
Yes, yeah. So my initial thoughts on that are it can be really important, but of course there are so many different jobs out there in the STEM world that there are going to be things that'll suit any personality type. So don't be put off. There are definitely things you can get into no matter how you feel about your people skills. But with science and technology roles, it is really important to be able to communicate what you've found so that you can make sure everyone is on the same page as you, and you can help move things along. And you'll often find yourself working, once you do start working in groups with other people with different areas of expertise. So you've got to understand what they're doing, get them to understand what you're doing, so you can bring it all together. And what I found is that once you start working, people skills is something that naturally just starts to develop. You're working with people that have so much more experience than you. When you're at uni, everyone's the same age, everyone's just as awkward and uncomfortable about the whole thing. But once you start working, you've got people to look up to and you can see how things are done. And it massively increases the learning curve there on how comfortable you are and things you can get into. So definitely don't rule yourself out if you don't feel you're very confident.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing is when you come to uni, it's not just about technical stuff that we're developing. We do start developing those skills. So you do a whole bunch of presentations and working in teams and all these sorts of things. So you do have some experience before you go into industry. And a lot of our first year students can be quite awkward and not that confident with things like speaking in front of a bunch of people. But with practice and time, you know, it starts getting much better. So someone else has asked about travel overseas. So I'd like to travel overseas. Are there opportunities when working in STEM? So Hannah, you've gone to Australia, which is technically overseas. Do you have any ambitions to go any further?
Yeah, so actually I just my husband and I have plans to go over to the UK later in the year, hopefully, and maybe do some travel in between. But I would say yeah, look, it's definitely possible if you're in a STEM career to go overseas. I guess COVID put a spanner in the works on some of my plans, but I definitely have aspirations to work on some interesting projects here in other countries. I think, yeah, if travel is something that you want to do, then these kind of people, you know, STEM careers are one of the few careers that are always going to be, you know, in demand. And I think around the world, that's certainly true. So you'll never be short of a job. I think you just have to look for opportunities. You know, they might not be as easy to find as things in New Zealand, but if you're on the lookout, then yeah, it's definitely possible.
Yeah, so the other thing to realize is that if it's a professional program like engineering, then they're all accredited. And so it means that it's recognized as a qualification in lots of other countries. So you're certainly, if you study in New Zealand, you're not stuck in New Zealand, you can certainly go other places. And also a lot of people might start studying in New Zealand and there are some exchange programs or go overseas for postgrad. So there's lots of different opportunities.